Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the JW2 Report. I'm your host, Johnnie Market. You all know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. And just a little disclaimer, nothing should be construed as financial investment advice. My opinions, thoughts on markets. Read more disclaimers below. Can you even see my, yeah, there it is below. So, yeah, anyway, what a great day to be a Silverbug. Congratulations, Silver Stackers. We did it. Look at this. Silver's over 100. And it's been a long road. I have to admit, I started investing in this market 2008, 2009. Probably similar to most people. And I bought a lot. I bought a lot of miners. I stopped buying in 2010 and 11. Not because I didn't want to, but I didn't have any money. I worked part time. I was able to pay for school. And then I stopped school and I didn't really have any money. And luckily that was the top. But the thing is, I didn't sell a lot. And it was a very painful bear market. And if you ask me, that bear market lasted, people say 2015. But if you weren't like Rick Rule or one of those Sprock guys where they were making money hand over fist, it really didn't last. It really lasted till 2019 when gold started going up again. And if you didn't own miners, you just owned bullion. If you just owned silver bullion, that bear market lasted till 2025, really. And the gold bull market, bear market for you, if you just own bullion, but you own a significant amount of gold, that bear market lasts till 2024. So it's been a long bear market. So rejoice that I would say it's over. It's been, I know in 2013, I invested in one company called Colossus Minerals. It went bankrupt. That was my biggest tragedy. I did take in 2013 during the big crash. I sold precious metals. So I don't know about you, but I basically staked my life on this bull market for a long time. And in 2013, I just decided to I mean, I'm not a tax advisor, but I decided to sell to carry forward losses. And I wish I had more, but my accountant would use them every year to reduce my taxable income, which I wish he didn't do. But one year it was good that he didn't because I ended up owing 7,000 unexpectedly, and we got a check for 7,000 from the Tesla credit, EV credit. And thank goodness we got that check because that just went straight to the federal government. Went from one federal government gave it to me for EV credit. Well, not me, but my wife. And it went straight back to it. So, uh, it was like Uncle Sam passing money from its left hand to the right hand. Uh, so, maybe reducing it because I'm not a tax advisor, but my understanding based on my experience is that if you don't have any capital losses, you can just write down 3,000 of those losses to reduce your income, but just don't consult an accountant or tax lawyer. And then another thing, I got a job at the Big Four, and I had all these miners, and it was 4 to 5 years ago. They wanted me to sell, and I said, F you, not literally. And I took a lower paying job, much lower paying job. In fact, took a $15,000 pay cut, all while having a wife and expensive rent. And then my wife lost her job for a while, got one back, 6 or 8 months later, but that was a tough living paycheck to paycheck. So I really, this is a very great day for me because I did stake a lot of my life on this market. And it's not fun when you did and everything else is going up. You got the stock market going up. You got, well, the bond market went in a bear market getting 2020. You got Bitcoin going up. You got everything else. And you're like, what an idiot. Why did I pick this? So if it went back to 50 or 60 a top, I would have been pissed. I thought I was buying like throughout the bear market, but I wasn't buying as much as I should. In fact, I lost confidence. Uh, I'm a lot better analyst now. But this is glorifying. And if you look at this, you look at right here, gold. I think it's going to break 5,000 over in, if not in this upcoming week soon. I've never really called for a correction, and I think I'm vindicated over the last 1 to 2 years because everyone who was calling for a correction was wrong because they didn't know how underpriced this was. Uh, and the other thing is, it spent like silver basically spent like 12 years at 20. Like you knew it was going to explode higher. As they say, the bigger the base, the higher in space. Uh, and yeah, I just want to say, like, I had an old podcast way back in the day with other people. Ended up quitting that because they still believe in this nonsense like silver shortages, silver. Uh, they still believe in the LBMA. Like, there's no fucking shortage. Like, there isn't. It's fake news. Like, you think the news tells the truth? Uh, and so that podcast failed. I mean, it's still around, but it's failed. Like, my only one person runs it now, and he can't even live on his own. So I do this, I'm hoping I can set up a newsletter soon. I just right now, going forward, I think silver is going to make another move because I think if you look at this is 103. It didn't just get to 100. It broke through it. Now it could come back down. I think there'll be some profit taking, but if it stays 100, I think it's breaking even higher. Uh, Personally, it doesn't mean I'm right. I think if you want my opinion, not advice, I think now's the time to have trailing stops. Because the worst thing you want, I mean, I'm not saying you need trailing stops on all your orders, on your miners or your silver orders or bullion, you really can. But it would suck to see a profit like this. And then let's say silver does crash soon. It would suck to see all that profit just given away. So what I did personally, I have like 6 core positions where I'm going to use to buy a house, no mortgage, whatever. I have stop orders on those, and I just basically lock in profits. Uh, my bullion, I'm not selling, at least not for now. Uh, for tax purposes, I'm not going to go in my whole tax plan, but it is for tax purposes. And it's not because of just I don't feel like blasting it publicly. Uh, so yeah, I mean, it's been this is somewhat reflection. I've turned down jobs because in the auditing field, I had to sell stocks, which I'm vindicated now. My net worth is significantly higher. Had I not taken that job, yes, I had to take a pay cut then so I could keep all the miners. And it's way more, like it's way than it is had I took that job and sold the miners. I mean, maybe I could have bought other miners, but it's a pain in the ass. I mean, they basically audit or do tax for every miner. Like it would be like 2 miners. So, which I don't think should be allowed. If you don't work directly with a company, you should be allowed to invest in them. And then just sort of like a lawyer, if they ask you to do work, you just recuse yourself. But I had that. I had a business. I literally went to sell precious metals. Funny thing is, I have this group of my old sales partners, sales friends from precious metals, which, I mean, the job wasn't good. It was low pay. The owners of the company stink. But I mean, the people I worked with, the sales department, the managers, they were cool. And funniest thing is we text went, everyone we sold to is up significantly. And I was like, yeah, if they still held on, hopefully they all held on and are selling now. And so when silver broke 50 for good, we're like, everyone we sold to made money. I'm like, yeah, it's true. Uh, well, the funny thing is, everyone I sold gold to, in 2019 was up. So, but that's the good thing. That's if they held on. But yeah, I did so much. My life was devoted so much to this market. It's one reason I'm selling is just de-escalate from this market. I was going to talk about China and a big bet with oil, but I'm not going to do that. I do think the days of investing in silver for now are over. I don't in my opinion, not advice. If you're not in, and you're rich, you should buy some bullion, but like only 10% of your holdings, and it'll be gold, not silver. Uh, these are just my opinions. They're not advice. And I don't think anyone should have more than 10% miners in if they haven't gotten in. But I don't think this bull market's over, but I mean, it's gone up quite a lot. I think deflation is going to come. One of the reasons I think is, when the boomers start dying out and you have millennials, Gen X, Gen Z, I mean, they're not going to be able to afford homes or anything. Deflation is going to become very popular. And politicians that run on a deflationist platform are going to get elected. I don't buy into that whole all I actually used to. I used to listen to a lot of conspiratorial things. I mean, maybe because I grew up around DC. Like I mean, and I don't know exactly what to say, but it's more like a lot of people are stupid and incompetent there. They're not in touch with the real world. And I mean, one thing also just seeing how this whole property tax thing, I don't oppose eliminating it for the right reasons, but when you do something for the wrong reasons, it's worse than not doing it at all. And it's mainly they're getting rid of property taxes for those that are 65 and older. Like now they're gonna have an age protected class, like so many, no, like this is just stupid. Um, I mean, I didn't read a lot of things, but I've read a lot of different things, so it's hard to tell what's to believe. But in terms of gold and silver, congratulations to everyone that's been through this. My life has been heavily dictated by this market, and it's nice to be on the winning side for once. And I've become a much better investor. I've learned patience. I've learned I've learned something that very few people I know. I'm talking about non-gold and silver investor friends. I've learned when to take profits. I've learned disciplined approach to markets. I've learned, sell on the way up, buy on the way down. I've learned to not FOMO. If you don't know what it is, it's fear of missing out. Call it FOMO. If you're like, I know what that is, well, there are people like me that went on YouTube that might be listening to me that didn't know these terms. So that's why I'll define them. Sometimes when I define something basic, it's not for you. It's not to show off. It's maybe someone who's brand new trying to learn something for the first time. Uh, and so this market really told me because one of the reasons I have disciplined selling approaches, one of the reasons I have a disciplined buying approach, this was unlike most people, especially those who start in '09. I've been through bear markets. This gold bull market, if you ask me, if you go to silver, let's just go to silver. I don't care what anyone says. Let's just look at silver. Wow, look at that. That's just, if you bought here, well, that's 81. You bought here in 50. This is 2011. I'm just going to keep going. Look at that's 2020. Look how much money you lost, even if you waited 9 years. Buying at the wrong time can ruin you. That's why I say this is no longer an investable market. You shouldn't have much of your assets because what if it goes like this to here to 50? I don't know. It can go like that, but it can ruin someone financially. It can really set them back. And then, so this is 2021, 2023. Look at this. This is February of 2025. That's $32.90. And then October 1st, August. Look at this, February of 2026. You literally bought, if you bought in 2011, it took you till 2026. February of 2026 to really break even. That can ruin. That's why I always say you got to be cautious. But if you were buying here in 2020, wow, look at the returns you made. It's around $19. I'm just talking about silver. Let's go to gold. That's how long you're till 2025. And that's how long the bear market was for last silver, from 2011 to 2025. Look at gold. 2011. It's around 1912. I mean, I think the official number is 1921. But 2011, 2012, 2013, 16, 17, 18. That's 2020. That's 9 years. And then it literally took another 3 to 4 years to finally break it where you can sell comfortably. And then look at that. And you can buy here, but look at this. I've seen gold go from 19 to 1,000. Maybe it could go back from here to here. It's possible. You never know. I think this will be strong support, and that will be strong support. I think this is going to be a massive floor. I don't think we'll see sub 2,000 gold again. I just don't. It could be wrong. I just don't. I think they're in the next bear market once gold breaks below 3,000, which is possible. Buy hand over fist. But we're nowhere near that. And then even if you want to go, let's see if there is a GDX. And Kiko's little app has a GDX, but it doesn't have. Let's see. All right, great. I think it does have. Oh my gosh, they do have ratios, gold to silver ratios at 48. It's never. All right, I'm going to go here we'll use the GDX. I don't like using the Huey, but let's just do the GDX. Look at that, 107. Some Elliott wave trader said it would never go above 107. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, you bought 2011 was the top at 64. This is around 2011. So right now we're at 2012. Look at that, 2015. 64 to 14. Then it went to 27. Look at this. If you bought in 2011, even if you wait till 2020, you might have been still selling it $28 or It's not really even 19. And you really didn't break even until, and this, I'm just doing this. This is why you didn't really break even until 2025. So 2011, 2025, that's around 14 years. Yeah, that's discipline. That's why you need discipline. Because if you buy, and this is what I'm saying, like it's not investable time for gold and silver because these things can happen. We've seen it happen in the past in gold and silver. This is why I think trailing stops, taking profits, a disciplined approach is a good way to go. I think oil is cheap. We can go back to an oil chart. I wish there was just an oil price chart. Oh, good. Louisiana, we'll just do WTI. That's what most industry standard. Industry standard. We'll save it. If you hear meowing, it's my cat. So if you look at WTI 2022, if you look at it, 2022, 101, that's 61. It's cheap. 1 year. Which still is like much larger. WTI. I'm just gonna try USO. I don't like USO, but yeah, if you look at USO, look at that. $2,734. Just down, down, down. It's cheap. Maybe it goes up to here. So I don't like USO. I don't think it's that great. Let's do another one. For some reason. But anyway, that's my thing. I hope everyone, disciplined approach, disciplined selling. I don't think this is the top. I think there's one more run and it could go to 150, 75, or what. I'm not investing in gold and silver anymore. It's been a long market. I'm just using trailing stops now. And my physical, I'm not really, for tax purposes, like I'm locking in gains on some of the miners with trailing stops. I'm going to be able to buy a house. No mortgage, nothing. It's going to be great. And, my message of gold and Silverbugs, take cautions, make sure you can lock in your profits. And enjoy this. This is what we've been waiting for. And lastly, this is not to be construed as financial investment advice. My opinions, thoughts on the markets. Make sure you consult a financial advisor and make sure you do your own research. So anyway, enjoy. Talk later.